Hi everyone, welcome to Set Up and Score with ScoreApp. My name is Leigh. I'm the head of customer success at ScoreApp. I've got my colleague Sarah with me. So both Sarah and I work on our support team. So if you've got any questions that you want answered in the chat, please feel free to use that throughout and Sarah will be able to help you. Likewise, if you've got any questions for myself, just please feel free to unmute and I can help answer that. And we'll have a time at the end for questions as well. But what we're going to do today is we're going to go through creating a scorecard all the way from the very beginning, which would be developing a concept. And then we're going to learn how to create it and then end up with talking about the promotion and follow up. So once you've got your leads, converting them into sales. It's a very interactive session today, so I'll be asking for you to share the link for your scorecard. So if you're willing to share with us so we can walk through it, please just have the link ready. And I think while we're waiting for everybody to join, if you wouldn't mind just popping in the chat just a couple of words to explain where you are in the process at the moment. So whether you are not yet started, whether you are building, whether you've launched, just gives us a really good feel for exactly where everybody is at the moment. So hi Ben, welcome. You're just starting out, fantastic. Hi Neil, not yet started. Hi Claire, started your scorecard and got a bit stuck. Excellent, so hopefully this will help. Hi Andrea, joined yesterday and just having a play around, so brilliant right at the beginning. Hi Elmir, I have an idea and I'm thinking of registering for the trial, brilliant. Hi Lisa, okay, so you're at the beginning as well. Hi Bernie. So it seems like we're all sort of, stories of men. Hi, yes, you've launched. I gave you some feedback yesterday, so it was great to have a look at your scorecard and have you with us today. Bernie, you're starting from the beginning as well. Hi, and Ali, 3/4 of the way through, now working on your landing page is fantastic. Hi, Tom, not yet started, clear idea, which is a good start, but want to use for non-typical use case, diagnostic pre-training program. Brilliant. Okay, so a lot of what we talk about today will be focused on lead generation, but can be applied to creating the diagnostic pre-training. And then if you've got any specific questions that I don't cover, please feel free just to let me know. Okay, brilliant. Thank you, everybody. So let's start by just talking about those use cases for ScoreApp. So lead generation, obviously, that is what we see a lot of on ScoreApp, people developing scorecards as a lead magnet, and they can be different for cold audiences, warm audiences. So we'll talk a little bit about making sure that they work for these audiences. Then we could use it for qualifying leads. So it could be a pre-qualification, it could be onboarding, really trying to get the data that you need before you deliver that service to the customer. And then we've got benchmarking customers as well. So we've got lots of customers who use it just to ensure, customer satisfaction, make sure they're utilizing all their products and services. So there's really lots of different use cases for ScoreApp. When we're building a scorecard or a quiz, there are some main elements of it, and this is what we're going to touch on today. So the first one is going to be the landing page. Then we're going to look through the actual questions, categories, scoring logic, before going on to the results page. So we can talk about the content that's delivered to the user and the call to actions. And then we'll finish off with promoting and following up. So I often get asked what makes a successful scorecard. And number one on the list is getting the concept right, which is what we're going to start talking about today, because that concept needs to deliver value to your target audience. And therefore, especially in lead generation, if it's developed around that common goal that your target audience are going to achieve, then it can offer value because it gives them clarity about where they are against that goal. And then that's where you can give loads of great advice, hints and tips about how to help them on their journey. And that leads into the second point, which is making sure that it has got that mutual value exchange. So obviously you are developing your concept to deliver value to your target audience. In return, you're getting a load of customer data, which can help you to understand exactly where your target audience is, help you make informed decision about your ongoing communication with your target audience. And it also leads into point 3, allows you to personalize that ongoing communication with your target audience, because you know exactly, which campaign they're most suitable for, what their problems are, and you can make sure that you're pitching the right solutions towards them. Once you've created this great scorecard, then we need a strategy to tell people about it. We need to drive traffic towards the scorecard, get them through the scorecard, and then the final bit is following up. So once they've gone through it, it's taking those leads and converting them into sales, and it's getting all those aspects to work together, which makes a successful scorecard. So let's start talking more about that concept. A lot of you are getting started today, so hopefully I'd really like to get some ideas sort of flowing. So that's the idea about behind the scorecard, but then we need to package that up into a headline that acts as a real hook and clearly communicates to your target audience what it is, how it's going to help them. So in order to generate some ideas, I want to give you some common methods that we can use. So the first one is to base it around that common desire or goal. And then sometimes you can just put the word scorecard or quiz or assessment on the end. So for example, if I was the health and fitness coach and I helped my target audience, to help, achieve optimum health, then I could create the optimum health scorecard or the optimum health quiz. So it's basing on that desire or that goal. If I was a career coach and I wanted to help my target audience, have the most fulfilled career, I could create the fulfilled career scorecard. So you can see how that can work. We've got some examples on the slide as well. So the key person of influence scorecard, where the desire there is to be a key person of influence, high performing teams, where the desire is to have a high performing team. Brilliant. So that is the first method. The second one is to flip that slightly and base it on the pain or the frustration. So in those, examples that are on screen, obviously the desire, the common goal is to make sure that the network is safe and secure. But in order to translate that into a hook of a headline, we've created the avoid being hacked scorecard. The second example, so for fitness fanatics, they want to optimum fitness, packaged up into a headline, fitness injury prevention scorecard. So it just is that kind of using that to kind of really draw your target audience in. Another method that we use is to ask a question, and this can work as the headline. So it's, are you ready to, and then we need to fill in the blanks. So are you ready to run a marathon? Take the scorecard. If we used my fitness coach example, are you ready to get fit and healthy? Take the scorecard. If we use my career example, are you ready for your next career move? Take the scorecard. So again, basing it on what you're helping people to achieve, but just, creating that intrigue by asking it in a question. There could be lots of other topical or seasonal things that you could create your scorecard on. So for example, a concept like that's trending, such as, AI, which probably isn't trending anymore because we're a bit more settled into it. But if something like that comes up, you can use that concept to create a scorecard. Is your business ready for AI? It could be that you have in your business specific seasonal periods where, if you were a fitness coach, are you ready for the new year? So that can help with your concept if they fall into one of those categories as well. Aside from that, and these, I'm helping people create scorecards for all sorts of reasons, like registering for a webinar, click here to apply to our course, or so you can see how not just from lead generation, there may be those other uses for creating scorecards as well. And the very final method I wanted to talk to you about was the fact that you can create a highest scoring category or personality output. So it doesn't have to be a score. We can develop, you are an introvert or an extrovert. I think we've got like the wheels of happiness as a template on ScoreApp. So it's going to tell you which wheel, which segment of that happiness wheel you fall into. We've got a budgeting personality style quiz on the template as well. And that would tell you'd fall into whether you were a conscious budgeter, a relaxed budgeter. So that one can make it a bit more fun, lighthearted, but equally then you can tailor your advice based on, somebody's style. So if somebody's not very good at budgeting, you're going to be able to give them some real sort of, this is how you get started. Whereas somebody falls into that conscious budgeter camp, you're going to be giving them kind of like next level advice because you know that they're already on top of managing their finances. So if I'm hoping that sparked a few ideas, and I'm just wondering if you don't mind in the chat, if we could pop in there some ideas that you might have at the moment for your, and if you haven't got an idea, just maybe explain what you do, and maybe we can sort of help think of some ideas. If you've already got started, you could just share with us your current headline perhaps. And then it's good as a group to see what everybody's sort of thinking at this stage. Just give a few seconds for that to come through. So Andrea, thank you. Oh, we've got Claire just above you there. Current headline, discover your entrepreneurial leadership score. So that's a good headline. And then in the subheadline, it would be great to see, the benefit of that. So discover your entrepreneurial leadership score and, determine how to XXX. What have we got? Andrea, are you ready to supercharge your mental clarity? Take the quiz and find out your brain focus score. I really like that one. Yeah, I think that's really good. Neil, the ultimate growth roadmap, unleash your small business potential. I like that one. The ultimate growth roadmap, unleash your small business potential. With our assessment, perhaps that would suit that kind of terminology. Elmer Strong, for small construction trade business, how structurally sound is your marketing plan? I like the concept. I think as a headline, I would recommend putting that in ChatGPT and brainstorming some headlines that really act as that hook. We want to create that intrigue. So yeah, that would be my advice with that one. My name is Rachel. Sorry, Ben. No. Hi, Rachel. That's what I meant to say. Standing in for Ben. Financial scorecards, tax planning, retire early. So there's loads of headlines that work with that one. Discover your financial freedom score. Are you ready for retirement? Tax planning, the tax efficiency scorecard. Yeah, so there's lots of potential with those concepts. Bernie, practice managers, are you ready to leap into zero? Practice managers, yep, I like that. It's creating that intrigue. You put it into that question. So it would be like, take this quiz and discover your score. Sometimes it's quite nice to link it to discovering their score. Female working in a tech, ready to take your public speaking to the next level. In tech, ready to take your public speaking to the next level. So I think that the concept for that is really good. And again, I think ChatGPT would be really useful there to sort of get that into a headline that hooks in. At the moment, it would be long So we'd need to, the public speaking excellence quiz, for example, and then in the subheading, or, who's this scorecard for, then you could maybe sort of describe your target audience. So the stories of men, which type of man are you? In just 5 minutes, find out how to, yep. So you're still struggling on how to change what type of man into you into something more appealing. You said discover what type of man you are, but I think it could be even better. Yes. So this scorecard, you're going to discover your sort of personality style as a man, learn how to navigate that, for your growth potential, enhance your relationships, to have stronger connections. So the current headline is, what type of man are you? And then the landing page goes on to explain that you'll find that personality style. So we're just brainstorming that to, find out if we can just make that a little bit clearer in the headline. So I'll spend some more time on that one afterwards to see if I can think of anything. So brilliant. So we've got some really nice concepts in there. I hope that was helpful in maybe sort of determining which concept you're going to go down. So now I want to go into sort of building the scorecard itself. So we're going to go to the platform. When you come to the platform and you click on create scorecard, you're going to be given 3 options. So starting from scratch, picking a template, or using the AI setup wizard. So I would recommend starting from scratch if you've already got your questions mapped out, what results you want to deliver to people. So it suits people that have got this methodology, and it's very sort of specific and in line with their intellectual property. I would advise you to browse the templates because there may be, if there's something that's closely aligned with your concept, that can be the quickest way to get started. And then obviously you can just brand one of these templates up to suit you. But we also now have that using the AI setup wizard. So that's a great help, because it will help you further with the concept, and it's going to take out some of that legwork as well. So we're going to demo using this route right now. So we're going to use the AI setup wizard. We're going to choose to get started. That gives us those 3 options. So what the purpose of the scorecard is. So is it to generate new leads? Is it to qualify and convert existing leads to sales? Or is it to improve existing client results? So I'm going to select generate new leads. And then you need to decide whether you just want it to deliver an overall score. So that would be more suitable if it was like cold leads, you wanted a quick sort of fire quiz. So at the end, they're going to get a score, and then you can give them some dynamic feedback. So you've done really well, or, this is a good area for you to focus on. So that would be, I'd recommend if it's like really cold, like a really easy, quick starter quiz. If you want to give that outcome rather than the score, so the more of the personality style category one, then you'd need to choose the single outcome option. And if you want to give multiple scores, so an overall score, but then also use categories, then you would need to choose the multiple score option. And that's useful. Categories are useful because it adds even more value. So if I go back to my fitness coach example, I could add categories such as food and exercise. So it will give somebody an overall score, but also a score against those categories as well. So people can go, okay, I'm doing really well in my food, but I need to work on my exercise. So it can highlight strengths and weaknesses, and you can delve a little bit further into each of those areas for them. So I'm going to pick multiple scores, and then it asks you to describe your business. So I'm going to say that I'm a fitness coach. I have been deviating I do these webinars every 2 weeks. I've gone for the career coach for quite a while now. So I'm going back to fitness coach for this one. It then says, how would you describe your target audience? It will come up with some suggestions. You can click on get more suggestions, or you could just type in your own. So I'm just going to type in busy professionals, and then I'm going to click on next. It then asks, what do I want to help my clients improve, achieve, or prevent using this scorecard? So again, you can click on more suggestions if it doesn't return what you help your clients to work on, or you can type in your own. So I am going to say I help busy professionals and I help them to achieve weight loss. Click on next. Once it knows that, it's going to suggest headlines for your scorecard. So unlock your weight loss potential, discover your fast track to fat loss. And you can kind of just have a look, click on more, get more. If you're still not convinced, you could pick your favorite one, and then we can look at how we amend that later on, or you can add your own. So I'm just going to choose unlock your weight loss potential. I think what the AI returns is very good, and I'm sure there would be a good suggestion in there. Once we've selected the concept, it will suggest the concepts for me, and I'm just going to add two. I'm going to add nutrition and I'm going to add exercise. I'm going to click on next, and then it's going to suggest questions that will sit under each of these categories. So this whole process of using the AI setup wizard, it can take 5 minutes to 10 minutes. You could add all of the questions that it's suggesting, because then once it's built the scorecard, you can edit, add, delete. So if you're finding it hard to sort of decide between questions, my advice would be, add as many as you like, and then you can refine it later on. So you can see the questions it's returning. They're very, very targeted. Do you consume, 5 servings of fruit and vegetables every day? So I'm just going to add a couple in each. Just so I can show you how it works. It's suggesting questions for exercise now. So are you regularly engaging in exercise 3 times a week? So again, I'm just going to pick the top 2, and I'm going to click on next. It gives me this lovely summary of everything that we've chosen, and I can click on create my scorecard. And it tells us how many words it's written for us and how long that would have taken us, which is quite nice to see if we wrote it all ourselves. Brilliant. And we can just click on go to dashboard now, and it has populated this scorecard in our account. So now I'm going to come to the builder. We're going to delve into how to customize each individual element. If I click up here, this little square box with the arrow pointing out, it's going to take me to the landing page that AI has just created. And AI will pick the most suitable image. So it's gone down, it's chose a professional that looks like he's been on my program. Unlock your weight loss potential, take our quiz. And it's put in the title that we selected, and it will also put in some intro copy as well. Now, this is your starting point. And we need to go in there now and add your stamp to it, add all the value in taking the quiz, and all your branding. So I'm going to head back to the platform. Under the scorecard builder, we have the landing page option, and that landing page, we can click to open the editor. I'm going to do a hard refresh. Okay, so there it is. And now I'm going to talk you through how to add sections and the best practice for what we would like to see on a landing page. So if we go to add a section here, these are all the available sections that we could create a landing page with. So it's chosen this style banner for us, but it may be that actually we just want to use this as our main banner. So we can add that section here. I might want to go back in then, and I might want to add a section which talks about the categories or the personality styles. So if I click on the categories, there's different formats available, and I can pick a category section. I might want to then go back and add just a little bit more content about how it works, who's it for. So I'm going to add a section that I could put some content in for that. And then I'm going to finish with a call to action, which should always be to start the quiz. So I'm going to add a call to action section. So I've got, more of a structure now. If I want to move elements around, then I can hover above the section name and you'll see some dots, and you can click on those and drag and drop those into different positions there. When AI generates the landing page, it hides the header section. So if you want to unhide that, you would just click on the I to release it. And that's where you can also add your logo as well at the top there. Once you've got your structure, if you click on the section, it will open up some formatting options for you. So now I could go in, select file, and I could go and find my logo. So let's just come off of that now. And then when I click on style, I can make that logo bigger if I wanted to, decide where to position it. And I can also put it inside the first section as well. There's an option to position at the top inside the first section. So it's really worth exploring all of the formatting options for the sections that you want to use. And then you can just click and update any of the content that you want to as well. Okay. So I will just save that. Now I'm going to show you a landing page on that has all these best practice elements. And then if anyone wants to share the link to their website, we can take a look at any ones that might be in progress or even if you've just started. So I'm going to direct you to scoreapp.com and product and made with ScoreApp. So on this page is examples, or they are live scorecards, but you can get a real feel for what's working. The one that I'm going to talk through now is the scale up and exit business assessment. There are lots of elements of this that I really like. I think the styling looks great. It's called the Scale Up and Exit Business Assessment. I like the headline. Are you looking to grow, exit, or sell your business? I think it's really clear. It's asking that question. And then in the subheading, we're tapping into what the target audience are trying to achieve. And that is to scale rapidly and achieve a successful exit. We're also telling people how long it's going to take and that they will get a PDF, what they can expect at the end with their results and tailored advice. We have brands, logos of brands that we're associated with, and that adds credibility to the scorecard. So if somebody arrives here, they're like, oh, this looks great, but I wonder who's developed it, who's created it. So having some reassurance in that way can be really helpful. We also have an image, a showcase of what you can receive at the end. So you can see an image of the PDF report, adds to the value proposition and the opportunity that you could book a strategy call and a bonus. It then goes on to explain how it works. And it's tapping into those desires again, and that is to scale rapidly, increase the cash flow, profit, valuation, and successfully exit. So that's what I see a lot of successful landing pages are doing. They're tapping into those emotions. And this page is all about the value in taking the scorecard. So if you were to arrive there, what's in it for me? How's this going to help me? And then the opportunity to be sales focused comes on the results page, and that's when you can really start to show people that you understand where they are and the solutions that you have to that. This page that I'm showing you goes on to explain the categories and then more about who they are as a business. So I would always advise that this is linked to why you've created the scorecard. So if I was to write this, it's like, hi, we're from ScoreApp. We've got 10 years in helping people to generate leads. We have this proven methodology which I wanted to share with our community in this tool, for example. So again, it's like introducing who we are, but linking it to the value in taking the scorecard itself as well. Okay, so just going to check the chat, see if we've got any links. So we're going to look at the Stories of Men podcast that we looked at earlier. I wonder if I can just find that on the platform. Yeah, the man test. Okay, here we go. So this is the one that I was explaining about a little bit when we were talking about potential concepts. So there's lots of really great elements to this scorecard. I don't believe it's been launched yet, but we're just sort of at that kind of feedback stage. So which type of man are you? In just 5 minutes, find out how to enhance your relationships, to have strong connections, discover yourself by unlocking your hidden potential, and make more money by optimizing your career or business. So I like this element of it because it is tapping into those desires. It adds to the value. My suggestion was working on that headline, which is what we need to brainstorm. I also provided feedback on this one in that if it is cold leads, then 5 minutes may be too much of a time investment. So if it's colder leads, we'd recommend sort of under 12 questions or around 12 questions. That obviously does need to be balanced with giving people a credible score. Yeah, and then also my feedback on this one was take the test. I like the man test, but when we use the word test, sometimes that can alarm some people, like, oh, I don't want to do a test. So maybe like, the man quiz or the man assessment, but all of these things are really in the testing. We've then got a video on this landing page, which you can absolutely do. So by completing this test, you'll also receive a free guide in your email to track your goals. So that's good. That is a value add, another incentive. If you've got anything bonuses for completing the scorecard, that works really well. It could be that you've got free tickets to a webinar, or you're an author and you can give away a chapter of the book or a copy of the book. So they're all good incentives. Discover the type of man you are. So I liked this headline, and I wonder if that headline could be the one that goes at the top. Discover the type of man you are, by taking the man quiz, and discover, whether you're a protector, leader, dreamer, and then have your bullet points for tapping into those desires. We've got that little showcase of the results, so they can kind of get a feel for what they can expect at the end. Take the man test to discover your personality type, understand yourself, and grow as a person. More compelling reasons to take the quiz, and how to take the man test in 3 steps. So enter your details, put your best email in so you can receive your PDF. Usually takes less than 5 minutes. Within seconds, you will know the type of man that you are, totally free. So again, that all helps, really clearly explains how it works. My feedback on this one yesterday as well was, so this is the credibility piece. This kind of introduces who the creators of the scorecard are. And my advice here yesterday was to sort of, link that to this tool a little bit more. But it's really nice to have, this section on here as well. Also, we've got these testimonials, and testimonials are great, but the best practice for testimonials is if you can link them to how the scorecards helped somebody on the landing page. And then, on the results page, we can start to showcase the other ones. So, if I went back to my fitness coach example, and I had someone that said, oh, this tool like really opened my eyes to what I needed to focus on, and set me off on my journey to success, for example. So also here, there isn't a call to action to start the test. So not like, it's good to finish off with a little button at the end. So if somebody gets to the end, and also there is a call to action to listen to the latest episode, where what ideally we want to do is the call to action to go to start the quiz. And then it would just a great bonus on the results is that then you've got the link so they can go and have a listen to the podcast. But I think this concept's really good. I think there's some, really good elements of this. I think whilst I'm here, actually, I just want to show you where, because it's going to come down a lot to testing. And so if we go back to the ScoreApp platform now and we go to Insights, so we were on the builder, if we go to Insights, you will be able to see how many visitors have arrived at your landing page and then how many have gone on to start it. And that will give you a conversion rate. So at a minimum, we want to see that conversion rate tracking above 20%. And we do have scorecards that are operating sort of around 50 to 60. So in between that, and if it's sort of lower than that, then, I would recommend testing it for around 3 weeks. Then you can make some changes and then come back and monitor that conversion rate. It's especially important in the sort of early days when you're trying to refine it and optimize it as well. Okay, so did we have one more example? Not sure. Sarah, did we have any more examples? Just in case I've missed. No. Okay, brilliant. I will move on to the next question, the next section, which is going back to the builder. So once someone's gone from your landing page, they're going to click on get started, and then they're going to go through the questions. So that's the next element that we're going to talk about. So if you've used the AI setup wizard, it will put in yes, no questions. There are other question formats that you can use. So if you click on add question, this is where you can start to, you might have your own questions that you want to add to it. You might want to add a variety of formats. I mean, yes, no questions are the easiest for people to answer, as long as they're factual. So you're not going to ask someone to check what their mobile bill was like 3 months ago. Then, they are easy questions that people can flow through. It is then nice to add a different variety just to keep them on their toes. And it may be just that the question that you're asking just suits a different question style a little bit more. And in terms of scoring, if you are adding your own question, if you, for yes, no questions, to keep it really simple, you could just award a point to the positive answer. So if I ask, do you sleep more than 8 hours a night? And you say yes, I'm going to give you a point. And if you say no, I'm not going to give you any points. Then if I want to use a scale, I can make that scale however big I'd like it to be. So I'm going to make a 1 to 5 scale. That means that there's 5 points available for this question. And wherever the user places themselves on this scale is how many points they've achieved out of 5. If you click on more settings, you can put a low label and a high label on that question as well. So I could ask that question, on average, are you happy with the amount of sleep you get a night? And I could put not very happy, very happy. We've then got multiple choice options, multiple choice buttons. You click straight on the answer, go to the next question. And I'd then be able to say, please pick, how many hours sleep a night you get. And I could have less than 6. I'm not going to give anyone any points. If someone says 6 to 7, I'll give them a point. And if someone says 7+, I'm going to give them 2 points. So I'm going to go up in the strength of the answer in terms of points. If I want people to pick more than one option, then I need to use the multiple choice checkbox question. And then you can, under more settings, you can put a minimum and maximum option count for that particular question. And then the last one is open text. So that one allows you to gather more information, but it isn't a scored question, but good for collecting data and getting a bit more insightful data from your potential customers. So the way the scoring works is it will add up the total amount of points per category. So in this nutrition category, if I did have 10 points available here, it will work out what the person taking my quiz scored out of that 10. So if they scored 5 out of the 10, it will convert it to a percentage. So they scored 50%. And then it will determine which score tier they fall into based on the percentage ranges that enter here. And this is important for when you deliver dynamic feedback. So you will find these are your default settings, and they tend to work because it's 100% split into thirds. You've got your traffic light system, so low, medium, and high. But you can add tiers if you want to. You can change the colors, the labels, the percentage ranges. That's all possible. So just before we move on from questions, I just want to recap. So with colder leads, we'd recommend fewer questions. So under 12. With warmer leads, we'd recommend under 25 questions. And then for existing clients, the sky's really the limit. because it's all about getting the information that you need. Those are our guidelines, because obviously if you had 25 scale questions, that's going to take longer for someone to go through. So it's also being aware of the time investment as well, and giving someone a credible score. So if you need to ask a few more questions to be able to give them some more value feedback, then that's okay too. They're just guidelines. Once somebody's gone through the questions, they are going to get their results. So I'm just going to leave that one. And this is the screen they see immediately after finishing the questions. This is the AI version that we generated at the beginning. So the AI has put in some overall score content for us, and it's also provided some content in the 2 categories that we selected. And actually, if we click on these, the AI will even put in dynamic content for you. So it's different based on whether you fell into the low, medium, and high bracket. Again, this gives you a great starting point, but it really is your time just to go in there, and add your own stamp to it. So very similar to the landing page, you'd want to put your branding up here in the top. And then you might want to go to add a section, and AI will select what it feels is the most appropriate way to present that overall score, but you may prefer a different option. So if you go to add a section, you can see that there's traffic lights, we've got a thermometer, a speedometer, a spider diagram, just the percentage on its own as well. So if you'd rather add a different section, you can do so. And then you can, if you want to use the content, you can copy and paste it. And again, you can move that section around. So if we wanted to swap it, we could do so by moving it up the page. What the AI doesn't, so the AI hasn't made this overall score copy dynamic. If you want it to be dynamic, then if you click on that section, you will see this toggle here. So you can turn it on, and now you can put in specific content for those who scored low, medium, and high. And it's quite nice to do that. It adds to the value that you can deliver, because it gives that tailored experience. So you can say, congratulations, you've done really well here. And if someone scored low, obviously we want to really reassure them through our language that, thank you for completing this test. Don't worry if your score isn't where you want it to be right now. With these few easy steps, we can soon see that your score will improve. Then we can go on to the categories. So best practice on the results page would be to describe the category. So, I might describe what optimal nutrition is and why it's important. I want to acknowledge their score. So I want to say to them, you're doing really good here, or, this area could do with some more focus. And then I want to give them some light bulb moments, some things to think about that they could start to action, so they feel like they've taken something away from the quiz. So if someone scored high in nutrition here, I'm going to say, well done. And I might sort of say, make sure you're drinking enough water, or I'm not a fitness coach, which is why my advice is rubbish there, but kind of next level kind of advice. Whereas if somebody scored low, I'd be starting to talk to them, about the basics of what they should be doing. You can also feature on this page your call to action. So AI is going to give you this section, but if you go to add a section, we've got lots of different styles for that call to action. So you could really make that section stand out, add images, think about, the language, the offering here. So we want this to really sort of stand out. And lots of people want to offer a Calendly appointment, and you can put your Calendly link. So if you click on the section in the button link box, you'd paste your Calendly link. We see other call to actions such as, joining a community, joining a wait list, registering for a webinar. So any sort of external URL you can link in one of these call to action sections, or any section that has that button link box. You might want to then start to add more to this page, like your testimonials. You might want to finish with a little information about who you are as a reminder. So you can develop this page as you'd like it to be. What is a really useful tool for the landing page and the results page, even if you've used the AI setup wizard, is a tool such as ChatGPT. So if you're struggling with your landing page, like even though you've got, you know, the headline, the AI, I would recommend coming to ChatGPT and, you know, asking it for headline suggestions, you know, telling it what you're doing. You're building a quiz for lead generation purposes. You know, could you suggest some content for the landing page that really will convey the value in taking the quiz? And it's a really useful tool for doing so. If, for example, you got to the results page, you know, you could paste into ChatGPT the questions that you've asked and say, if someone scored a low score in this category, could you please give, you know, provide some results content that would acknowledge their score, describe the category, and give them some hints and tips. So really useful. And then you can go in and you can tweak it to suit yourself as well. So I'll quite often use ChatGPT. If you have built a landing page and you're happy with it, you could, you know, copy all the content into ChatGPT and just ask it to make optimization suggestions as well. It might just give you something else to think about along those lines. Okay, so this is the results page. They will see this. The ScoreApp platform will then fire off an email with a link back to their results, so they get to keep it and refer back to it. The AI has drafted some results email content, which you can change. I'd always advise checking it as well. You can, if you want it to come for your CRM, you don't want anything to come from ScoreApp, you can switch it off as well, so it doesn't have to come from the ScoreApp platform. If you're on our advanced package upwards, you will also have this PDF report feature. So your results page might become more of a snapshot of their results, and you might say on there your full PDF has been emailed to you, and then you would link the report by adding the report button merge field to the result email instead of the result button. Now, the PDF feature, the AI doesn't sort of do an initial version for this, so it would be a case of coming in here and creating it. I'm going to show you the pages that are available here. Once you've selected add a PDF and you go to add a page, you can see that we have, you know, different versions of front cover styles. All of them can be fully branded, fully customized. You then might want to put an intro page in, so we've got suitable pages for that, and outro pages. You'd probably then want to show people their overall score, and you can make this page dynamic, so it can be different based on whether they scored low, medium, or high. You might then want to summarize how they scored in each category. And then this is where you can start to sort of delve into each category itself. So you add a page for each of your categories. It can be dynamic. You might have a description page, and then you might have a tips to improve your medium score page. We've got lots of different call to actions, and then an outro page. So that's just, I just wanted to show you that feature, just in case anyone is going to develop one of those as well. Once ScoreApp fires off that initial email with a link to their results, and then a lot of our customers will integrate with a CRM system so that you can then, all your follow-up sequences can come from your CRM. These are our CRMs that are available. If it's not a direct CRM, chances are we're going to be able to connect via Zapier. So you can just click on Zapier, type in your pairing, and it will let you know if it's possible. Or you can come in and you can, you know, extract your leads directly from the platform here, and you can export them into a CSV file as well. Right, so that is really the main elements of building a scorecard. So I hope that's helped. I want to finish off talking about the promotion and the follow-up, and then hopefully we can delve into some questions. So I just want to bring up my slides. We're going to keynote here. And we've got our top line promotion ideas here. I'm going to sort of delve between the slides and the platform so I can show you how it actually applies on the platform as well. So the first one is embedding it on your website. And I wanted to show you how you embed it on your website. So if we go back to the platform, this would be the share icon on the blue left-hand toolbar. If you click on there, you have got your options for embedding it. So you can do full page, pop-up, chat style, inline. And if you click on it, it will give you the codes that you need to embed it on your website. But really, it is just a case of, each scorecard has its URL, and that URL would just sit behind a link or a banner on your website and bring people to the scorecard. When you create your first scorecard, it will give you your account name followed by this little code or your own unique code. You can tailor that by going to the builder and settings. So you can customize the element before .scoreapp.com. So it could be fitnessquiz.scoreapp.com. If you're on our advanced package onwards as well, you've also got the option of doing a custom domain name. And if you go to your account and domain, then you can connect that domain as well. So embedding it on your website. You could also include the link in your email signature. So I've got an example here. Like a PS, have you taken the key person of influence scorecard? Take the test. That works really nicely. And it can be applied to anything that actually leaves your office. So having a link to the scorecard as the call to action. Social media. So sharing your scorecard on social media. It could be a specific post about your scorecard. And we would recommend posting about it regularly. But you can also use it as the call to action on any other post that you're doing. So PS, don't forget to take the scorecard. We would recommend including it in your profile information on your social media accounts. And I just wanted to show you a feature on the platform as well. So if you go to settings and share appearance, if you can complete this page, so add a title, a description, and an image, it controls the way it looks once it's shared on social media platforms. So I would recommend doing that as well. And if we go to the home icon, we have got, we did have a little marketing tool there that helps you to, I'm going to find that on a different scorecard. Just bear with me 2 seconds. Here we go. So we can go to share. So this is on this share page, this was where the embedding options were. We've got the AI marketing wizard, which will draft some copy that will help you post your scorecard. So if you're doing a tweet, it suggests copy, and this updates daily that you can use. So it saves you sort of time having to think about, how you're going to promote it. So I would recommend checking that one out as well. If you do any sort of podcasts, podcasts can work really well. Like if you've got a scorecard and, say you could get people to pause the podcast and take the scorecard, or you could give, the link as a call to action after listening to the podcast. YouTube videos, having the link for the scorecard there. If you're writing any blogs, again, link for the scorecard. If you're an author of a book, you can put the scorecard link in there. So it's a next step. Once you've read the book, you might then go on to complete the scorecard. If you're running any events or workshops, you can use scorecards as the registration process. So when you registered for Setup and Score today, you came through a scorecard, which then, fired off a sequence for you to receive your Zoom link. And the benefits of that is that you might just ask a few questions, which gives you this really warm data about who your audience is. The last one on the list is your joint venture partnership. So it may be that you've got that relationship where you can partner with someone, share lists, share assets in mutual return. And then the last one is paid for advertising. And we've got some examples of that here. So we've got an Instagram post there. Showing one of our adverts. Here we have got a LinkedIn post showing one of the scorecards, and on this one as well we've even got a bookmark with the scorecard link in it that went with the book. So we, as well as all those promotion methods, we have got a great document which Sarah's going to share in the chat, and it's called 29 different ways to promote your scorecard. So that really goes into depth. So I would recommend that you sort of read that one while you're defining your promotional strategy. And the other elements that I wanted to talk to you about were following up. So that comes down to the integration, which I've showed you. You can then, you can push across there the scores, the answers, and that's going to allow you to plan some tailored follow-up sequences. You've also got the data here. So once someone's completed your scorecard, once you click on, the leads in your list, it's going to show you their scores. It's going to show you how they answered each question. This can be great for a sales conversation. This particular example I'm showing you comes from Dent's Key Person of Influence scorecard. So their strategy is, once someone's completed the scorecard, they will go into a campaign, an email campaign, but they will also get a call from an appointment setter within 48 hours of taking the scorecard. And that appointment setter will say, hi, have you got a few minutes of your time to talk about, when you recently took the scorecard? So it's a warmer entry point to that conversation. They then use the seesaw technique, where they will talk about something they've scored really well on, and then talk about, another element that presents their biggest opportunity for growth. So that is one of the strategies that works well, sort of using the data. One of the other really good uses of data is, if I go back to the platform now, this is an advanced feature here, but this is good for when you're using it sort of for benchmarking assessments in particular. You can go to the answers section, and this shows you how everyone has answered a particular score question, to everyone that's completed it. So you could use this for a post in itself. Do you use email marketing, communicate? And you could say, did you know that 67% of 100 people surveyed used email marketing? This is another little AI marketing tool, but if you click on it, it will create a press article or a blog post or a tweet, specific to sharing that data. So that's quite a useful tool as well. Going back to, if we've got individual leads, this is just a test scorecard, so I'm not declaring any leads. But if we click on that particular lead and then we click on the AI button here, it will suggest a sales call script or some sales email copy based on how this person answered. So again, another tool that can help sort of speed up your follow-up for this particular customer. So I think that is all the features that I wanted to show you. I'm aware that I haven't left very long for questions. I'm more than happy to stay and answer any questions, but I also equally appreciate that you might have other commitments. So please feel free to jump off if you need to, but if you do have any questions, please feel free to stay. So yeah, thank you very much for joining me if you're going. And yeah, I'd like to open up in case anyone does have any questions. Please feel to just take off your mic if you did want to ask anything.
I had a really quick question. A fantastic session. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Is it possible for one person to go through the same scorecard twice and for their data to be linked together? So like a before and after picture?
So it's possible for one person to go through the scorecard twice. They will get two different results links, but there isn't the functionality there to say you scored, on their second one, you scored this in. So we do have customers that use it in that way. They will extract the data, filter and sort it, and then use it as part of the follow-up.
Perfect. No, that's super clear. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other questions? No. Brilliant.
Hi, Leigh.
Oh,
sorry, before you go. Yeah, really, really good session, and thanks a lot, Sarah, for all of your help as well. Yeah, we launched it a couple of weeks ago now, and it started really well for us, but then the conversion just fell off a cliff. It was like it was on about 80% conversion from the landing page going through to the test, and then it's gone down to like 17%. But we're getting around about, I don't know, Gabby, 10 to 15 leads a day, emails a day, something like that. And we've improved the landing page massively, but I've since been told that that was a bad idea to make so many changes so quickly, because we're getting the cold leads through Facebook. So we've kind of made a mistake by just changing everything. So I don't know what the issue is there, but on the first day or two, when it was in its first state, I think we had about like 48, 50 leads, but then it just went. So I don't know why that happened.
Yeah, so I wonder how different it was when it was doing that high performing kind of section at the beginning.
It was honestly, it's way better now. The landing page was not great, and
so it's way better. Are the ads and the landing page aligning?
Yeah, it is. The other thing I'll say is, like, from people going from the website to the landing page, it's that unnecessary extra step that I was mentioning to Sarah in the chat before. How do we? I mean, Gabby's going to look into that. Who's with me on the call? But how you see the sort of exact same page, and it's like it's an extra step, so you can get people fall off a cliff at that point.
Yeah. So if you want to bypass the ScoreApp landing page and just come off your own page, you can just use the URL /questions, and it goes straight to.
Oh no, sorry. From the Facebook ads, we do send people straight to the ScoreApp landing page. Yeah. It's just I'm also thinking about organic traffic going from the homepage, because we can't have a full landing page for the home. We can't have everything about the test on the homepage, because obviously we promote the podcast episodes as well. That's the issue.
Yeah. So it's only the organic traffic, then they have to go to another landing page.
So I was thinking, Leigh, so just to interject, I was going to do a Loom recording just to show Alex how to basically have like an on-page form and set that as the one they embed into the website. So set that specific page, so it just goes straight to the lead form, and then it goes into the questions, and then keep that bigger landing page for something they promote on the social side of things. What do you think?
Yeah, could do that. Just need to make sure that there is enough value on the website landing page.
Yeah. We're kind of like chomping at the bit we're only putting in $5 a day on Facebook ads right now, but I want to be like 10x in it and going straight up, but I can't do that until everything's sorted with the landing page, and even got like our value added information. Like, once people have finished this test, how do they then use that information? Like, we're using ChatGPT to create all these PDF guides and valuable sort of things for people to reflect and fully understand their results. I mean, I put it in that Facebook group, and Daniel Priestley was saying like, shit, you're getting like leads for 30 cents. It's very cheap, but there's just a few things that I suppose we need to change before we can really scale that up.
Yeah, we do have it. I can't remember if you're on a starter or advanced, but we've got advanced. That's, you can split test, so you could run a split test on landing pages.
That
would be quite interesting. You could do like a much shorter version, trial a different headline, and it automatically sends traffic to both.
Yeah, we're getting around 80% of people. We're going to do that, Leigh. We put this together, 24 questions with 3 multiple choice answers, and then I bought the ScoreApp book, read the whole thing, and I was like, right, because it says yes or no answers. But we're getting 80% of people who are actually starting the test, ending the test. I think it's 80%. Yeah. 180 220 have started, 180 have finished.
Yeah.
I mean, we're getting a few sort of, dodgy sort of people writing no at nomail.com and all that kind of stuff. But now people are giving legitimate emails, and they gave a lot worse than that, Tom. But I won't say what it was. Yeah, we're not getting that anymore, which is great. And we changed it because we were having people go through the whole quiz and then giving their email, and then obviously there's no incentive. So I saw that key person influence, all the other ones, it's like email at the beginning.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think for me, like you say, that headline could be worth it.
The headline's definitely got to change. Yeah, it's not enticing enough.
Yeah, I think the headline, because I think once you read it all, it sounds very like interesting, intriguing. So I suppose for me, it would be that headline if you're going to do sort of one thing, and then it's just making sure that the right traffic arrive, at that landing page, so it's relevant, so that they'll take action. But yeah, I'll have a think about the headline, see what I can come up with.
It's got to be something that's a bit more sort of disruptive, a bit not controversial, but something that's going to grab people's attention. Because in that, the first line of our podcast description, it's traditional ideas of masculinity are dead, and that sort of grabs your attention straight away. So I don't know how we do something like this with the test as well, and whether we call it a man quiz, like you said in your feedback, rather than man test. A man test is better than the test. Take the test. Take the man test.
Yeah, the man test makes it sound softer than take the test. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
But it could just be worth pitching it as the quiz, just to see if that makes a difference as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Gabby, any questions while we've got the experts here?
I think it was all sorted out. I had another question on maybe how long the landing page was supposed to be, because we have a lot of information there.
Oh yeah.
And how much people will be scrolling that page. I mean, we have the videos, we have videos, we have like a step-by-step on how to complete the test, but I know it's value, but I don't know if it's too much of value.
Yeah, I think it could possibly be too much. It's one of the longest landing pages, one of the longer landing pages that we would see. And especially because you've got a call to action to watch a video, a call to action to check out the podcast. And really, we think all the call to action should be to take the test, because you might be sort of detracting people from going towards the test. And I think in terms of length, like if you go with our Made with ScoreApp page, that one that I showed you, but then equally this one is much shorter, but it still does a great job, because how accountable are you? It's asking that question, it's creating that intrigue, discover your accountability score, and increase the probability of smashing your goals and getting SHIT done. Why take the quiz? And then just a quote, and and that one performs well. So I think
that's their whole website, .com.au. They don't have a homepage.
This one is using a custom domain.
Custom domain. Do we have that, Gabby?
A custom domain, yeah.
Yeah, if you're on advanced, you can have a custom domain. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I think probably the answer for you is probably a shorter one than you have, just making sure that the call to actions all align.
As a split test, or do you mean to just modify the existing one?
I think modifying the existing one. I think they're directing people to those different sources. You could lose people there.
Yeah. So modify the existing one and then do another one that's a bit more sort of less information, shorter, and maybe yes or no questions as well. Like you say, was it 8 to 15 for a cold? Like 80% are doing it from cold traffic, which is surprising.
Yeah.
It's 24 questions.
Yeah, I mean, maybe your questions aren't, a lot of the time, if your conversion rate isn't where you want it to be, then you don't need to worry about the number of questions. Do you know what I mean? Your main goal is getting people to answer the questions. Then you see if people are dropping off at the questions. If people are dropping off at the questions, then it indicates that, too many questions. I think on the landing page, to say 5 minutes, I went through it. Obviously, I was doing it quickly and I'm used to the platform, but I don't think it takes 5 minutes. So I think you could probably state less anyway from the outset.
Or would you word it? It'll say like 3 to 5 minutes.
In under 3 minutes.
In under 3 minutes. Okay, let's do that.
something like that. Yeah.
In under 3
Yeah.
minutes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the average length is about 10 to 15 seconds for people to answer a question. So yeah, that probably doesn't work out as what's that, like 5 questions a minute.
Yeah, just get someone to test it yourselves, like as if you were your target audience. Just time it, see how long it takes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's very helpful. Thanks a lot.
All right, guys, nice to meet you. Thank you for joining.